So Talmidim, we are in the Altein Esrogim Center. This is the same family who the Rebbe would get his esrog from every single year. The esrogim that are on the table are all from they're all Yanaver esrogim. They're not from Eretz Yisrael. They're from Italy. And I'm just going to take a couple here. Beautiful esrog. And you'll notice every single esrog has a different shape. And some people have a particular preference. Obviously, there's certain things you need to know halachically. Let's take this one from you. You see, this one is a much different type of a shape. I'm sure, I don't know if your Rebbe are teaching you what to look for when you're taking an esrog. There's another one, it's a much bigger one. Let's see if we can have maybe someone. We have Rabbi Altein here. Rabbi Altein,
yes.
Do you have a minute for the Altein Esrogim and just give us a bit of a crash course of what to look for in an esrog? They all look beautiful.
Since I'm holding a lulav, let's start with the lulav.
Okay. They all come in a box like this, right?
Well,
wow.
There are those that come like this, and there are those that come individually wrapped, which each lulav has a inspection on each lulav.
So those are like the Rolls Royces of lulavim over there.
That's right.
They're hand picked, they're hand inspected.
To see if it's to check the kosherous of the lulav, you look at this green, solid green, which is called the backbone, the shedra, and it keeps on branching out from it and branching out until over here, where there's only leaves. It branches out, and that's the end of the shedra. Then you have to see the middle leaf. The middle leaf, which in this case is this one over here.
You have to actually handle it. It's hard to tell from the video.
And you have to make sure that the leaves are, every leaf is a twin. It's two stuck together. It's necessary that the middle leaf be closed as opposed to the rest of the leaves.
So as long as they're closed, it's a kosher lulav?
Well, the truth is it's kosher even if it's open a little bit, but the chatchila should be closed completely. So.
And how much does it have to be split for it to be not kosher?
According to what it says in the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, it has to split all the way down till its source, till the end of till the
that
end
place
of the
where you showed us before,
where the backbone starts.
Wow.
So it has to be split quite a lot. So even though it's split part way, it's still kosher.
So even if you have like those lulavim which are like all split apart, as long as the middle is together.
I'm talking about a lulav that opens up like a fern is not kosher.
Okay, so we have to try to make sure that it's together.
The leaves have to be together.
Should it be straight? Should it be a straight lulav, or if it's like curvy, it's not the end of the world?
The thing is, if it curves to the left, to the right, or to the left, or forward, that's not good. But if it curves backwards, it says that is good.
Backwards, like towards me.
Towards the holder.
Wow.
That is okay.
Is this a good lulav?
This is a good lulav. It's a
wow.
little bit loose, but that's not a problem.
So it's good that it's attached, but this one's still kosher.
Yeah, the middle leaf is tight.
Cool.
Now,
wow.
This will go to you.
We have Rabbi Pesach Yaakov here, live view.
Now here you want a bag. Lulav in the bag.
Nice and clean. While Rabbi Altein is taking care of the customers, we're going to take a little bit of a tour over here. I have no idea how long this is going to take, but let's see if we can find an esrog that looks very similar to the Rebbe's esrog. The Rebbe's esrog was like, maybe not exactly like this. This is a little too wide, but it gives you an idea. Here, let's find this one. Not completely. See, every esrog has a little different, a bit of a shape. Guys, which one do you want me to choose? It's very funny because you'll go in Lubavitcher circles and they're going to want an esrog that looks, it's not exactly like the Rebbe's, but it gives you an idea. The Rebbe's was like nice and big and top, and then it narrowed down on the bottom. You go to other places, some of those other places, they dafka want to have an esrog that looks like this. You know, if they have an esrog that looks like this, they're not going to want it. So every place has their minig. Every place has what they look for, but one thing you want to make sure that the top of the esrog is clean. You want to make sure it's as clean as possible, the bottom as well. You want to make sure that it's straight. This one has a little bit of a curve. You see that the top and the bottom is not necessarily straight top and bottom. There's different things. Maybe we'll see if any of the Rabbi Alteins are available to give us a bit of a crash course. Why is it so? We're gonna come back in a minute when they're available. We got you, Rabbi Altein?
So,
So tell us a little bit about Esrogim.
in Esrogim, there are two general shapes. There is this shape, which is preferred by the Welt, and then the Rebbe
When you're saying the Welt, that means who?
outside of Chabad.
Okay.
And then there's the Surah, like the Rebbe's Esrog, which was more with a roundy top. This isn't such a good example. It's even a better one. Trees don't always grow with them exactly. Natural things, so everyone is a little bit more this way, a little bit more the other way. But we try to get an esrog which is wider on the bottom like this. The bottom, the shikua, the stem, is sunken in, and the top is roundy like a yamuke.
What do you mean by the bottom sunken? Means that
The uketz.
that means the little thing on the bottom, the stem is like pushed inside.
And it's hidden.
Okay.
As opposed to this one, where it's not hidden, it's all on the surface.
Okay, interesting. Does it make a difference to us if we have a pitum on top or not? Does it make a difference?
The Rebbe sometimes took esrogim with a pitim and sometimes without a pitim.
Okay. So when we're looking for an esrog, what are like...
Calabria esrogim in general,
Calabria means what?
it's the city where it comes from,
Which is in which country?
in Italy.
So all these are Italian
All
esrogim.
these are Italian from Calabria, which there's a Kabbalah, it's brought down in Sefer Minhagim, and Moshe Rabbeinu, when Hashem told him, we need a pre-Eitz Hadar, he sent Shluchim to Calabria, Alanani Yaakov, to go and bring him esrogim in the middle.
What when we're looking for an esrog, what should we look besides that shape? Anything else we should look for?
Now, esrogim, we try to get one that's as clean as possible. Esrogim grow on a tree that's full of thorns, and sometimes the esrog gets scratched, and it makes the esrog twist or make scars. It has scabs. So
from this video, it looks like it's nice and clean. I don't see any scars.
Well,
I don't see any black spots. Is that good? Any holes?
well, that's good. But if you want to find one that has marks, well, we try not to have them, but we can't avoid it.
Does it make a difference if it's only on top or like anywhere if it's dirty?
Now, if it's only a mark from a scab or a scratch, so it's kosher anywhere you find it on the esrog. The higher up it is, the more visible it is, the less desirable, but it's not a shaila of being kosher.
So the most important part that you want, if you have a preference to be clean, should be the top.
The top part that you see when you look down.
This looks clean. What do you think, boys?
Now, if you look very close, you might find there's a very mild marks on the side. It's hard to notice.
Yeah, because of the lighting. But
Because it's white on white.
now, does it make a difference if it's green or yellow?
The halacha is that the esrog is not allowed to be an esrog that's going to be green and stay green. But once it starts turning yellow, we assume that it's going to be able to completely turn yellow. And it's kosher even before it turns yellow.
But we obviously want to have something as yellow as possible if we have the choice.
Now, the ideal color for an esrog is it's a moving goalpost, because it starts off green and it gets yellower and yellower, so it'll never be the right color for a long time, for more than a short period of time.
Does it make a difference if the...
So I'll show you an example. This is already very yellow. This color is the ideal color.
Because it has both.
It's a pale yellow with a green tint to it, which is the color of shaiva. Whereas this is, I guess you can call it overripe. But it's kosher lechatchila. And this was once this color, but after...
Does it make a difference if the esrog is smooth like this or bumpy like this?
Bumpy is an advantage.
Interesting. Why?
Because lemons are smooth.
Oh.
And esrogim, the fact that it's bumpy shows it's not a lemon.
Boys, I never asked that question, and it's the first time I'm learning that part.
So people look for blitis, for bumps on the esrog. It's a good sign.
I'm going to ask the $1 million question. What makes a difference between a $50 esrog and a $500 esrog? The cleaner it is, or the size?
there's three things. There's how clean it is, how symmetrical it is. You see this tilts a little bit to the side.
Oh, so it should be, if it's straight top and bottom, it's better.
So like this is straight top and bottom.
Wow. So
And
that's like a $10,000 esrog, and that's like a $50 esrog?
And how close is it to the shape of the Rebbe's esrog?
Ah, so there's that
The
preference.
closer it gets to the shape of the Rebbe's esrog, the more desirable it is and the less common it is.
So basically what you're saying is the more the esrog has all of the things, clean, the shape, all those things, the more expensive it is, because it's hard to find.
They're very, very rare.
Could you show me an expensive? I know you're busy and I appreciate the time. Just show me one expensive so the boys can have an idea of what it looks like. Or it's all mixed up over here.
It's not here on the table.
Just like a jewelry store, you keep all the good stuff hidden away. If you have to ask it by permission.
All the good stuff was already taken.
Ooh, so that's why the earlier you come, the better. Wow. Okay, 900.
The Rebbe's esrog was shaped like this. This one and even more, and the top was a little bit flatter, but it was this general shape, but larger. The Rebbe's esrog was huge.
Yeah, you see the top and bottom is aligned. It's nice and round on top.
Just this general shape of how it gets a little wider and it goes sort of straight down, and has deep lines on it, but the top was smooth. I mean, was like a yarmulke. It didn't have this peak. And this is sunken in, but by the Rebbe it was sunken in a lot more.
Wow. So that's basically a primer on getting an esrog, boys. Rabbi Altein, thank you so much. Well, that's one last question. I told the boys that the Rebbe would get the esrog from your family. Is there anything special that you heard or learned from the Rebbe in the Esrogim?
One time the Rebbe went through all the Esrogim they brought him, and he didn't like any of them, and he asked them to bring another one, but they didn't have any other ones that were clean, so they had no choice. They brought to the Rebbe one that wasn't clean, and the Rebbe took it and used it. The shape was the Rebbe much more important than the cleanliness.
Wow. Thank you very much. A good Yom Tov to you, and thank you so much, Rabbi Altein.
Yes, a good Yom Tov.
Yom Tov.